Okay, welcome back everyone to another special episode of Yoda's Hut. I'm Bill. I go by Yoda Man on the boards, and I'm joined once again for commentary by Derek. Hey Derek, how's it going?
Doing pretty good.
All right, so we've got another game here featuring Derek on the right against Mitch 2480 from the boards, where we're doing our Pacific Northwest version of Yoda's Hut. As we mentioned in a previous episode, Derek and Mitch decided to record some games out where they play in Oregon, and I think you said Rainy Day Games. Is that where you said the game store is that
Yep.
you have? And
Yeah, it's in Beaverton, which is just west of Portland.
right, so we can get another perspective, some good players here competing against each other with some decent decks. And so in this game, Derek is playing a Scum deck that just got would be illegal now based on today as we're recording
It,
the commentary for this. It was the errata came out today. It was
yeah, they
Scum.
they just trashed my deck.
Yeah, two Heartless Tactics, two I Don't Like You Either, two Masterful Manipulation, one Spice Trade, one Huts Menagerie, one Slimy Scheme, and one Hunters. And Mitch is playing a Jedi Rebel deck, so he's got Jedi affiliation with two May the Force Be With You, and then a bunch of Rebel sets. He's got two Commando Operations, two Explosives Artist, two Shield Generator Assault, and two Engineering the Future. So I'm going to be real curious to see how that works in his deck here, and I'm also curious to see just how powerful your Scum deck's going to be, since it basically is the poster child for why Scum got errated. You know, you've got both
Mm,
things that are now restricted in this deck. So
yep.
it would not work now. It looks like you just flipped up Hunters, Masterful Manipulations, and Heartless Tactics. Or no, is that Hunters or Slimy? That's Slimy Scheme,
That's
isn't it?
slimy, yeah.
Yeah, Slimy
That gives me
Scheme.
my bouncing.
Sorry, I got a glare at first. And he flipped
Yeah.
up May the Force Be With You. Is that, what is
Commando
that?
ops
Commando
and
Operations and
the
Engineering the
engineer.
Future? Okay.
Yeah.
And you've got a prized possession, so you got some resources as you started here.
Yeah, I remember thinking when I did this hand, I had a bunch of resources. I was really tempted to mulligan because I had nothing else good.
Yeah,
There I played a Palace Guard, which is not an ideal
right.
turn one, but I had Slimy for my bouncing. I had all these resources. I
Yeah.
had Masterful out there, and I'm like, I've got a great first turn. And if I remember right, the remaining three cards I got, two of them are fake cards. So when
Oh,
he
okay.
flipped Commando Ops, that was not a good sign.
No, that was just,
Because,
yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
because I remember the two of them, one of them I know is Prince's Scheme. I think the other one is Planning the Attack, if I remember right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so those cards are basically dead for at least one turn, if not two, before I can get over there and actually put damage on that thing.
Right,
So,
right.
yeah, I was kind of gambling on making use of those if I absolutely had to, but really just to get I got all the resources to have an explosive second turn.
Right,
So
right.
that was my thought.
No, that makes sense there. I mean, and you did. I mean, you got a bunch of resources, and you only single focus Masterful, so unless he has some real good tricks up his sleeve. He played Yoda, you seek Yoda, so the dial went up to two, but he's only got two resources now. He's not going to be able to blow up Masterful, so you should be able to potentially
Yeah,
use it again, and you're going to have a pretty good, you know,
right. I've got seven
yeah,
resources to work with the next turn. And I do have, granted it's expensive to do it, but if I get nothing to do, I can always, like, even if he focuses my Palace Guard or whatever, I can bounce him and replay him with Slimy Scheme and remove damage from my objectives as I do it.
right,
So it's not very efficient, but it gives you something to do if I have a dead draw, for example.
right.
Especially once I get things captured out there with Dengar's location being out there. It makes it hard for him to get damage, so even just that little bit of removal is a big pain in the butt to deal
Yeah.
with.
So it looked like he just put something on Yoda. Was that custom paint job or
Uh,
something? What did he put on Yoda?
I didn't see, actually. I didn't see. I'm not sure what it
And
is.
then he
That,
played
that, that might be right.
yeah, he played a Spec Force Pathfinder.
Hmm.
So, and he's got an Endor location out there with Commando Ops, so he could potentially strike twice with the Spec Force
Yeah.
guy if he wants to turn it off himself. But
Yeah,
I don't think he put Sabine's armor on there because that would have cost him one. So maybe he gave
yeah.
Yoda the custom paint job and is going to
As I
plan. Probably if he's
as
got like well equipped or something, he's going to be able to double strike with Yoda.
Yeah, as I see just a little bit of that
Yeah,
picture underneath, I think it does look like a TIE fighter, which makes me think it is
yeah.
custom paint.
So he had Seed. So he seized your Palace Guard, got 2 damage on Heartless Tactics, and then
Hmm.
he's going to get 2 damage. What is that he just played?
That's the thing from Engineering the Future where you get to
Oh,
draw cards equal to how many focused units you have.
right. So he drew 2 cards there because he had 2 focus units. That was pretty good use of that. I'm a little
Hmm.
surprised I guess he doesn't want you to get the free thing with Commando Ops turning off your fake cards. You just discarded preparation and planning since that wouldn't go
Yeah,
off
one of
right
those
now.
fake cards. Like I said, I wasn't going to get anything out of it, so I'm
Yeah,
hoping to have. I get to draw 4 here. I hope I'm getting something good to
right.
make use of that because he's got a decently quick start there.
Yeah,
Uh, with me not having just the guard and the debt collector at this point.
right,
So, because if this turn doesn't go well, then I probably should have mulliganed.
right. And engineering feature as well as some damage. Exhausted rebel units you control can't be dealt damage by enemy combat icons or card effects. So,
Yeah, so like right now I can't hurt his commando op guy there.
right,
If I were to have targeted strike, for example.
right. Or just any, yeah,
Yeah, any like damage.
chokes or stuff like that. Which I don't think. So you got Pondo Baba. You get to play
Yep.
him for 2 since he's got a unique character out, namely Yoda. So
Mm,
not too bad.
yeah. And then I've got, let's see, I still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 resources
Yeah,
now if I want to use the debt collector.
right. You can't take force back unless you bounce your palace guard, probably, or unless you have a way to focus down Yoda.
Yeah, I think if I remember right, that's what I did. Was I bounced and replayed him because I drew nothing good in
Oh
that next
wow,
hand.
yeah,
So
and so
I got to free a
pull a
damage
damage
up,
off.
but that
Yeah,
was not a good turn. And I
yeah,
still have. I'm also thinking I still have Prince's Scheme in my hand, so I really want to turn off that Commando Ops.
right,
So, yeah. And then that's I mean I get to free up 1 damage here, but I get nothing captured, so I'm
right,
not able to make use of that thing yet.
right,
That
right,
Vanguard's location.
right.
So, yeah, that was a less than stellar opening turn. Um, I did put, I think that's that coerced.
Yeah, it is. So I guess you're putting on Yoda.
Yeah, I think the idea there was to try and scare him into not blocking at this point, at least, because I wanted to attack and damage the commando ops there.
Right,
So, and I have to send him Punababa because he's got to be in the first engagement.
right.
So I think sitting here and looking at my hand now after I declared it and how many edge pips I actually got, I was kind of regretting it, thinking, oh, actually, I hope he really doesn't block.
Right.
But
Right. I almost wonder if you had been better off putting it on the Spec Force guy because it would have been hard for him to lock everything of yours down. And if he attacked with the
mhm.
Spec Force guy, you probably could have killed him and then captured something.
Yeah.
So,
So part of the reason I put it on him was I knew at some point I was going to try and get rid of Yoda
well,
anyway.
yeah.
But part of it was that scare tactic. I wanted him to really think about if I've got some way, if I got a heat of battle in this deck, Yoda could be in trouble.
Right, right, right.
So, and the main goal here, when I attacked altogether, was just to turn off the commando ops. I wanted to be able to use my Prince's Scheme in the future.
Right. No, that makes sense.
So,
I
yeah,
assume Mitch will block with Yoda here. I mean,
yeah, I think he will.
because he's probably thinking you don't have a heat in your deck.
Probably.
And he's got enough guns to just kill Pondo Baba. right
Yeah.
now because Yoda's got 3 guns.
Yeah, like I said, I think in retrospect, after I'd done it while he was sitting there making his decision, I was thinking he probably either didn't want him to block there. I think part of the reason was for a split second, I think I was thinking I could use Prince's scheme, but I realized I couldn't.
Right.
But because I had to first damage the other thing, so
Right,
or the
right.
objective. So yeah, I think like I got 4 cards in my hand if I remember right, and I think I had a total of 5 pips between them.
Oh, geez. Well, I guess you can just try
So
to get rid of some bad cards then, maybe.
yeah, that was the other thing was I needed to draw some better cards.
Right.
And he's committing a lot, so
Yeah,
I think
well,
right now I probably scheme is the only thing I'm saving.
right. So let's see what you made him pitch. So you had 5.
I
And I
had more
think
than
he
enough.
had 5. Yeah. Looks like he had 5. It looked like he pitched a nudge and ground support and something else I think had 2. Oh, maybe you did win.
No, I think maybe I did. Maybe it
Oh,
was
no, you
5
had
to
6.
4.
Sorry, you had 6. You had
Oh no, I
coerced
had
in
my
there.
other coerced was in there. I
Right,
had the
yeah.
both of them.
So you
So
do.
that's why. Yeah.
So I guess you would have done 2 damage to Yoda,
Yeah, I did
and
there.
then
So I did 2 to Yoda and 2 to the objective,
right,
turning it off.
yeah, that's good. And he focused your deck collector, so you had no resource. But now you can
Yeah.
commit that security guard again and at least take
Mhm.
balance back. And Yoda's a little bit closer to being off the
Yeah.
board, but unfortunately, you've only got 1 card. So
Yeah. I'm still fishing for a main now at this point.
yeah, so
I
he
know
just
that 1 card is Prince's scheme. I've had it since the beginning of the game.
all right. So he just pitched. It looks like he pitched adaptive strategy that probably no real
Mhm.
need for that right now. I think,
Although that would be a nice counter to Prince's scheme.
yeah. So I would think he's in a pretty good position here. I mean, who is
There's
that?
the main guy from the
That was
engineering
that. Is his
pod.
name Blissix or something? I think is that right?
I don't.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't remember.
Blissix. So he's got a black gun, black blast, white blast. He actually has a resource. He's elite, and you can focus him to remove a damage from a rebel objective, and then place a shield on a rebel unit or objective once per turn. But
Mhm.
but well, you probably don't want to see this, but it seemed like he would be able to take out Masterful now, no problem. So he's probably going to do some serious damage to your board, I would think.
Yeah. Well, I do have the prince, or not the prince, but the guard to block with. But yeah, if he wants to come in hard, he could. Masterful could potentially eat it here.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think I would send Yoda in after probably Heartless Tactics here and see if you sort of force you to try to block, but you only have 1 card left, so you may not want to actually have your
Yeah.
your guard die. So, I mean, he's probably going to
Yeah.
win edge because especially if you said you had scheme, that's not going to do it good. And then
Yeah.
Blissix and the Spec Force guy can take out Masterful.
Well, does Blissix have 2 blasts? Is
Yeah,
that white one that's a blast or a
right.
gun?
It's a
It's a
blast.
blast.
But
Okay.
even if it wasn't, he could damage Commando
Yeah.
Ops again and use the Spec Force guy to double strike, which he might want to do that anyway, get even more damage on something else. So he's
Mm.
attacking something. I guess I'm not sure what he attacked, but I'm sure it's not Masterful if he's attacking Yoda. Because I think you take the easy
I
way out and get rid of Masterful here.
I think if I remember right, I think he had sent him its scheme.
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess he could just as easily take out Heartless Tactics just to get that potential damage convention off the board. So what did he
I
do?
think
He did
he had a seeds and a secret objective. So
Okay,
that's
so
what he did. He went after Slimy's scheme, and then I think he diverted down to Zizor's
oh
location.
yeah, now he's going to
So,
be able to take Masterful and Heartless Tactics out.
yep. Because then he's gonna wait, end that conflict, and then wake up the Spec Force, and then send them both at
Right.
Dengar's objective.
Yep. So he damaged Commando Ops, and
Yeah.
then he's going to send them both in, and between all that blast, he'll have 4 things. You look like you're
Yep.
looking. Wait, what's that do again? And he's got 2. two
Yeah, he's
objectives
already
down,
got 2.
and he's got 2 damage on Scheme. He's got rid of the annoying ones with thing on his side. He's going to commit Ballistics and take Force back. So the dial is just going to go to 4.
Yeah, I had that slow start really hurt. I really should have just taken that mulligan. Who knows
Yeah.
how things would have gone
And,
if I'd have done that.
yeah.
But
What'd you flip up there? I'm trying to
I
make
think
that
it's
another Masterful, and I don't like you
I
either, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what the other one is.
So captured would be good right now. Because you
Yes,
could
it
capture
would. I could get both Yoda and
Blissix.
what is that guy's name? Blissix.
Yeah.
I'm not used to seeing him yet.
Yeah. And it really wouldn't matter. He's already blown up 2 objectives, so if he threw 2 damage on I don't like you either, it really wouldn't be the end of the world. It's just be
Yeah,
about the same as the other stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty much irrelevant.
Yeah. Yeah, it does seem like you had a bit of a slow start here, and
Yeah, that's very unusual for this deck. It's rare that I don't get a main or something like that, especially like I said with all that resource I had at the beginning. I would have thought I'd have drawn into something, but apparently not. I mean, I got Pondo Baba, but
right.
that's not a game-changing card. Something like a Xizor, Dengar,
Right.
Duel. Those would have all made a much bigger impact.
Well, Duel certainly would have.
Yeah,
Especially because this is pre-errata, so
definitely.
it would have helped you clear stuff off, and it'd been hard for him to kill Duel.
Hmm.
So you did get Masterful, so you got some extra resources. So let's see, what are you playing here? 2 for something. I put 2 on I don't like you either, or the fortified holding cells.
Fortified.
I mean, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, to increase the health.
Right.
I remember Mitch saying, "Well, why don't you put it on Slimy unless you're planning on playing a captured right now?" And I said, "Yeah, I am."
Yeah. Okay.
I'm pretty sure I've got captured in my hand right now.
Well, yeah. So you might as well capture Blissix then, and then I guess get Yoda.
And react to get Yoda, and then I also get to fish through his deck for another one because I've got Coerced sitting on Yoda right now as well.
Right. So that could certainly help slow him down a little bit because he really doesn't have resources. That's the one thing that notice.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got Blissix as the resource, but you can kill Blissix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's comes 3. I'm guessing there's captured. So
Yeah, so I
capture
capture
Yoda.
one, react to the other.
Yeah.
So I get them both.
Yeah, so you get to damage.
And it was
I
custom
don't
paint
like
job
either.
under there.
Yeah, I thought that's what it was, just because he didn't pay. So that's actually even better than just doing it because he's.
So.
Yeah, and then
then I also get to go fishing through his deck for another card.
Now you put one under Scheme and one under I don't like you either. So if you get Dengar out, you can get some.
Right, I can do some work with Dengar.
Right.
I remember fishing through his deck here, trying to decide what to capture. I think I ultimately took his second Yoda, hoping that he would draw the other Seek Yoda card and use it for me.
Right. So I would think as long as you don't put something under Masterful, because you might, as long as you can survive, you're not going to want to. You're going to probably want to bury it. Then it's really kind of a wash. He doesn't have anything in his deck. Based on what we were looking at, that would let him rescue capture cards. He's already blown up 2 objectives, so basically those are dead cards that are captured right now. There's
exactly,
so, and so let's see if we show it to the camera or not. What did you get? You think it was Yoda?
No, I'm pretty sure it was the second Yoda.
Yeah. Well, I can see that. And you still have 2 resources left. I hope you have a unit to play.
It was either that or the only other thing he's got there that's like a big threat is like Sabine, I think.
Right.
Or I guess Han also is potentially dangerous. But my thinking was if I get rid of a Han, I could still be looking at Han and Yoda. If I get rid of Yoda, there's no chance of me seeing 2 Hans at once.
Yeah. So did you just play Dr. Evans in, I guess?
I think that's the doc.
Yeah. If you had something that cost 1, you could turn off the Spec Force guy.
Yeah, I'd kill for a spider right now.
Yeah. And you're going to at least take balance back, but Dial's only at 4 still.
Yeah, I got a long way to go.
Yeah. I mean, at least your fate cards would work, and if you kept Scheme, then you could use it with Dr. Evanson.
Right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I still got that scheme in there.
All right, so he just drew a Dagobah Training Ground, so he's got a resource.
Hmm. Yeah, it's those first couple turns were just so bad. My deck kind of stabilized now at this point, where it's going to be a little harder for him to get in. But again, all he needs is 3 damage.
What did he just? Is he just play the thing that sucks the focus tokens off?
Yeah, it pulls the focus
Yeah,
tokens off of
the heavy
the
speeder
guys.
truck. But that only pulls them off when it goes into play, so that didn't really do much good. So he
Right.
put something on. What did he put on there? I can't see it. Oh, he put is that the explosive
Uh,
charge he put on
right.
engineering the
Yeah.
future?
Yeah, to keep me from turning it off.
Right,
I think at that point I'm like, oh, I guess I should figure out what this stupid objective does. I
right.
don't think I even paid attention to
Yeah, and it is
it.
a while on damage thing too. So,
Right.
but well, this is gonna. You might should be able to survive this turn, I would think here.
Yeah, he
So,
doesn't have much to go with on this turn, so
no.
I'm feeling I can hopefully. I'm like, where's my Dengar? Where's my Zizor? Give me something to work with
Right,
here.
right. And the unit he played has a black gun and a white gun, and it only has 2 health. So,
Yeah, I'm not exactly worried about that. So that's why I like those palace guards. I know a lot of people don't care for them, but 2 guns, 3 health. They're good defenders, and they have an ability when they come into play. I don't think they're that bad.
no, I don't think
So,
they're that bad either. So, I mean, you
yeah,
get
I
to
hear a
take a
lot of people
damage off.
get grief about them that they're not very good, but I liked running. I ran 2 Slimy Scheme in my deck for a long time.
Right,
Just because it also has the resource, it's also got the chain reaction,
right,
and Salacious is also good for freeing stuff up.
right. And
And of course,
also, yeah, go ahead, sorry.
I was saying, of course, bouncing, Snuvas
Right.
and Malakili, and yeah, there was all kinds of fun tricks you could do with that
Right, or
mod,
even the Palace Guard if you like you did before, just to
like
take
I
more
did
damage
earlier.
off.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say about that. Especially if you could combine it with like a payout or something. You have 2 of them, you pay them once and then put them back in your hand and pay out and maybe play them twice and didn't really have to spend a lot of
yeah, I don't think I've
resources to do
ever
it.
had that happen, but
Yeah. So,
yeah.
and then you could use chain reaction if you wanted to take an extra damage off.
Yeah, I could if I had it in my hand.
Yeah, so so it looks like Mitch is probably just trying to think what he should do here. I mean, at least he got another resource, but it's going to be hard for him to do much here. I mean, really, because I guess he could potentially force you to double focus the Palace Guard if he does stuff right, but
I've got 3 cards in hand. I don't know how many he's got
right. And
there.
one of your cards we know is Scheme, as you said from the beginning.
Yeah.
So it looks like he's going to swing it. I don't like you either.
hmm I think he's trying to figure out exactly how it works here.
Right, and how much damage capacity it still has too, right? So,
Yeah. So I think at that point I was like, I'm not too worried about it. And I can kill. I mean, the Palace Guard can kill, assuming I blocked with both here. Here is I think where I made a colossal mistake. Um,
yeah, I think you did too because he's
well,
going to
I
be able to
have
win now, right?
I've got those 2, and I've got Prince's Scheme, so I should be able to take a fate card and then just lock down his Spec Force #1. And #2, I was thinking for some reason that Spec Force couldn't take out Slimy Scheme. I was thinking I had Dengar's location or something, and I went,
Right.
I've got Scheme and I've got 3, and he's got 4, and they're both fate cards.
Yeah, that's
So that just crushed me right there because I actually saved a card which I didn't need.
right.
I should have just pitched it in and I would have won that edge. And instead, the Spec Force here is just going to take out Slimy and I'm done.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, he's going to get the double strike. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that might have been a mistake, Derek. I will
yeah,
agree with you.
by 1 card there's a spider which is 2 pips. That would have been enough.
Right.
So
I think I
'cause
just would have let it go, to be honest with you. I would have just let his attack go because if he unless he has like 3 targets, then
Yeah.
it's not like he's going to be able to blow up I don't like you either. So, and then you're
Right.
guaranteed to have a defender, even if with the siege you would have still had Dr. Evans in it. You could have taken him out, but yeah,
Yeah.
I think you just had a slow start there, though.
Yeah, I did that, and I think because I think I look here to see, well, what was my upcoming cards? Would it have mattered? And now I've got a fistful of great stuff.
Yeah, isn't that how it
There's
always happens?
Dengar, there's the search, there's
Yeah,
so I could have easily then I would have been able to I would have cycled Masterful. If I'd have got like
yeah,
Dengar's
man, you would
location
have
like
gotten
I showed
Heartless
there,
Tactics. You would have been able to.
right?
Wow, yeah,
So and then I would have had the board state. I could have, if I had to, I could have bounced the Palace Guard and healed another damage on Slimy. And and then at that point, he has nothing big on the table either.
right, right.
So whether I would have come back and won, who knows? But I had that terrible start and then that just brain fart there at the end.
Yeah, well,
where
it happens.
Eliminated any chance of victory on that one.
That's all right. It happens. I mean,
So,
it was you had a slow start. Mitch had a pretty good start there, getting Yoda early, and then kind of being able to lock down some stuff and get some damage in, and with that Spec Force guy coming out, you can really do some
mhm.
work with it if you want to. So when you can get unopposed. I mean, so wasn't a lot you could do, but look at that engineering of the future doing some work for Mitch there. That's impressive. So props
Well,
to him for that
it
one.
was really the stinking Spec Force guy that did the most
Right.
of the damage to me that game, I think.
Yeah, those
That
guys
and
can be
Yoda,
good.
but-
Yep. All right. Well, so you got any final thoughts before we wrap up this game here?
That's the way it goes sometimes, I guess. I should have probably just mulliganed at the start with that opening hand, but I really liked everything I had. It was just a matter of it was all set up with no guarantee for the second turn, and I gambled on it. And he had the really fast start plus the objective to shut down fate cards, so
Right.
it was like the perfect storm there.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot you could do. Like you said, you had to try to turn off Commander House, which you were actually able to do with Pondo Baba. You turned it off pretty early, but it was sort of
Yeah.
at the cost that you had to pay for it. It kind of came back to bite you there.
Yeah,
Well,
because that was his second turn, I think, that he had taken out two of my objectives and had damage on the other one.
right. Yeah.
So
Well, thanks again to you and Mitch for recording games. So it's nice to get some of these games from out on the Pacific Northwest there, in the western part of the U.S. Yoda's Hut episode. So thanks as always for joining me for commentary and also for those games. Thanks to you and Mitch for that. So.
all right, anytime.